I was a little down on the Bernie Sanders situation after he lost by 5 in Nevada, and I moved him back to an underdog at 45%. I was looking at some polling in some of the states that are coming up, started to get even more down on him, thinking that bringing him down at 40% in my mind, and I hadn't talked about it on air yet. And then a new wave of polls came out, and all of a sudden, Bernie Sanders winning nationally, not catching up. Oh, we feel the burn, or here comes Bernie. No, there goes Bernie. So that's it. He's ahead in all those polls. A Reuters poll came out today. He's up by 4.4% nationally. Yeah. More importantly, in states where we're going to have these primary contests coming up, like Ohio, all of a sudden he just passed her in Ohio.
He's in Ohio.
Yes, he's got a 1-point lead on her in Ohio. Now, you can call that a tie, but he was way behind. That's March 15th. That's the big date. That's the big date that we've been talking about. Okay, the Ides of March. Might be Ides of March for Hillary Clinton. So the fact that he caught her in Ohio, to me, is a huge, huge sign. He's also at a record distance between her favorability and his favorability. He's now crushing her, and is the biggest lead he's had on favorability on her. So when you look at all that, every one-on-one contest, now dozens of polls, right? She's losing to Donald Trump in Ohio by a couple of points. He's beating Donald Trump by 5 points in Ohio.
But is Ohio,
you got to win.
Is Ohio relevant in a presidential election?
Exactly.
Well, right? But that doesn't have anything to do with electability.
Yeah. So what happened in Vegas for Bernie was not good. But everything since then has actually been, for me, even surprisingly, almost shockingly, good numbers for Bernie Sanders. This race might be, again, back to very, very close. So that's why what John mentioned earlier about how David Brock is saying Bernie Sanders shouldn't say anything bad about Hillary Clinton because she will be the nominee, so he shouldn't damage her. Yeah. Well, first of all, David Brock is the person who has said the most negative things about Bernie Sanders.
Definitely.
Who has apparently at least got a 50% chance of being the nominee, so ironic that he would say that. Second of all, this whole presumption that Hillary Clinton will win is both enormously grating and annoying and condescending and patronizing and I am the establishment and I have already deemed her the winner, right? Yeah. And second of all, you knucklehead, it's counterproductive. Anybody who watches that makes you go, oh yeah? Oh, she's the nominee? All right, then okay, fine, I'll vote for Bernie Sanders and let's see what you think of that. Yeah. Look, David Brock's done some great work in the past, but
people go crazy when it gets to, he has, and there are other people that I follow on Twitter who, on other issues outside of Hillary versus Bernie, are awesome liberals, awesome progressives. They just go crazy when it comes to this. And I understand why. It's significant.
No, and
I
know why.
They lose their minds.
And I know why. It's because they are the establishment. And David Brock, I'm sure, would be very upset to hear that. And I've worked with him in the past, and I have nothing but good, positive relationship with him, okay? So I don't say this out of any animus at all. I would, if anything, I'd be rooting for him. But he is one of the guys on the left who collects a tremendous amount of money to use for the right causes and causes we agree with. So does that make you part of the establishment? Of course it does. And so for the people who collect all that money for what they view to be good causes, the idea of Bernie Sanders not using that money, not using that system, in fact, getting rid of that system, well, that's got to be, A, deeply disturbing and disconcerting, and B, he can't believe it, right? So he's not just doing it to be condescending. All those people who are used to the system, they're like, no, it's no way. No, it can't be Bernie Sanders. Yeah. It can't be. But unlike you guys, I got to be honest with you now, I'll be condescending back. I can read numbers, and I understand them. We used to criticize the Republicans for not being able to do math. Their war on science included their war on math. Yeah. Well, I can see the poll numbers. He beats Hillary Clinton now in all the national polls, and now you're telling me she's the presumptive nominee. He overcame a 60-point lead, and he's leading in every poll. Okay, on top of that, one-on-one matchups. In every general election matchup, Bernie Sanders does significantly better than Hillary Clinton. Every one of them, for at least a dozen polls. Yeah. So if you can't read that, I mean, I could help you with the math, okay? Two can play at this condescending game. So you better not say anything bad about Bernie Sanders, the presumptive nominee who's leading in all these polls. So shh.